Hello. Right. It is raining. I've been busy and I need help with something. Otherwise, I can't proceed. So, yeah. Um, hey, Ed. He says, hey, Tubbs, over the head cold, but now I have a bit of a cold, no coughing, just sneezing and feeling unwell. I'm sorry, dude. That's kind of what I had. Again, I kind of had like a proper flu, and then I had cold, and then I had a head cold, and then I had this, which is just continuously clearing out bullshit from my throat or whatever. It's really annoying, but what are you gonna do? You know? Hey, Petafox. So, yes, like I said, I mean, I couldn't upload anything today because my internet was a bit iffy. The power seems to be okay now, though. Like, I got my bug zapper on, everything's working in here. It's nothing to do with in my office. Is it leaking? Is my roof leaking? It doesn't look like it, but it could be. I think it's good. So yeah, there's no electrical problems anymore, but then the Wi-Fi has decided to be shit. So that's fun. How can I help? I will try help best I can. Might pack it in early. Well, I'm like I said, I was what I was trying to say is that I might be heading off early myself. I'm feeling tired because my sleep doesn't know what it's doing still. It's like we're better now. Do we go back to being shit and upside down, or do we go back to being normal? He doesn't know because, like the night before last, I didn't have any sleep. Talking about sleep, bad. Yeah, got a weird cottony mouth thing. I keep finding random bits of sweet chili sauce because I've got this really really awesome sweet chili sauce, but it's like it's more like chutney than anything else. You know, it's like pickle, but sweet chili, and it's delicious. But I had it with my salad today, and basically I keep finding bits of it in my mouth, which is both a good and bad thing, but it's annoying. Anyway, yeah. So because I couldn't do any of that, and I was still just a bit paranoid about the power, I've been doing. I have not been doing editing, but I have done a bunch. Well, I've basically finished a bunch of stuff. However, I need your guys' help because sweating a lot for some reason. You got a cold slash probably the flu. You know, you're not going to be fine for a little bit. You're going to be okay though. Eventually, you'll be good. Don't worry about it. So yeah, I've done the floor plans. I've done the layout, the overall like building floor plan for the second and third and fourth floor of the building. And I was going to do the fifth, but it's just a square, so that's kind of pointless. And also I figured out what that room is because I was gonna. It's the king's chambers. It's his bedroom. You know, he's got his own private lounge, which he basically is his private room that he can make into anything he wants. However, he also needs a place to sleep. Now some kings have the option of basically just turning their, turning that room, turning the private chambers, the private, their private lounge into their bedroom. But essentially, because it's just because it's easier, but they do have their own. They do have their own bedroom. So I basically made that the bedroom instead. Um, so yeah. Now we're going with British rules with the whole flooring, naming the floors. For example, the first floor in the UK is usually known as the ground floor. It's the ground floor. So basically, the first floor in American is considered to be the first floor. But in the UK, that's the first floor, and then the second floor, and then yeah. So the second floor is where the rooms begin, where the private rooms begin, where the bedrooms begin, and basically, I've done that. That's what I've done. So I've done like you got the second floor has like the suites, which is basically just the bigger rooms. They have like they often have their own like separate layout, like personalized layout. Their own ensuite usually is standard, and also they have their own like their own dining room, or just an extra part of the room, you know. So yeah, so I've got a bunch of those, and then on the third floor is basically just the generic kind of hotel room layout. Um, so I've done that one too, but I've also done the fourth floor, which was the most annoying because that one has the most rooms of any of the fucking building itself. Because we've got that's all of the that's the servants' quarters. It's their room, and basically I've had to do like commoner areas. I had to separate the men and the women because it was segregated. Then we got like a common dormitory for the men and the women. We got private rooms for certain people, like the head chef, the head butler, the mechanic or the groundskeeper, and then they've got like nurses just in case, or just because like some members might want to have their nurse on hand if they've got like medical conditions or something. And then we've got the head maid has her own room, and the head cook. And then we've got basically a lecture hall. So basically, they go over their assignments every now and again. You know, they go over their assignments for like, who's going with who and all that stuff. It's kind of like the the what do they call it in when they do it in the police, where they're basically like is that the bullpen? No, the bullpen is the right. That's where everybody's desks are. The the other thing, the meeting room. I don't know. I don't know what it's called, but basically they do that where so they've got the lecture hall. It's also like for announcements and stuff for the staff and all that stuff. Then they have the office, and the office is important because I wanted there to be like there's a switchboard system. It's one of the first of its kind in the world, like at this time period anyway. And basically, it's like that's also in the office like area. So yeah, and that's for like the the admin stuff, all the admin stuff. And then they've got their own cafeteria, their own kitchen, their own common room, and their own balcony. So all of this stuff is accessible on the fourth floor. So yeah. Does Edward Meerden have a cane? Because in my mind he does. Yeah, sure. I'm pretty sure in the yeah he does. Yeah. Hey Roscoe, do you remember watching the? Are you there? Do you remember watching the Sword in the Stone? Because like I'm gonna say that just because he has a cane in that, I'm gonna say that he has a cane just because why not? I don't know what the police meeting rooms are called. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. So yeah, I've done that, and I was just about to get on with the floor plan, the actual floor plan for the king's bedroom. I'm not going to make this into an isometric because it can change with any king. Things that can change, with any king, basically. I mean, they can make changes to any room they want, but these specific ones are the ones that they usually start with. It's the king's chambers, the what's it called? The king's lounge. The private room, and also the private massage room as well. That's in the Turkish baths. They basically get to customize those to whatever their wishes, or sometimes it gets customized for them depending on their preferences. So yeah, so I'm going to be drawing the floor layout for that. So what I need your help with is basically, there's a picture on Discord already. I should have put that on Telegram as well, but I forgot. So what I need your help is all of these rooms. Okay. I told you the internet was being shit. It's just that it's been shit like 2 times today, and then it's been fine for hours. So I was like, I could do stream. I can do a stream, and it will be fine. I've been sat here for like however long that took, for with my book just here, just kind of like dozing off, because I can't listen to any music and I can't do anything but listen to the rain, which is nice. So yeah. Um, you used to watch Sword and Stone. Um, yeah. Okay. So yes, what I need your help on is basically every single one of these rooms needs a name. Now I've already done them. I've done the Mirrodin suite. But yeah, so they all need a name. All the ones that I haven't got like aren't labeled already. They need names. Um, so yeah, I need a I need like either a something room or the blah blah suite. I need names for all of them, and then I can scan it in and it can be posted. But while you're doing that, I've done, so that's the second floor. The third floor is just numbered with all the hotel rooms. Whoever gets number 17 is basically like they're just, yeah. that's that's kind of unfair. Number 17, number 22, and number 2, and number whatever one else is on the other corner, number 9. Like those rooms are all the size of the lobby, which is quite big. Um, and yes, they all have their own en suites. I looked this up. Apparently, even Victorian hotels, like hotels for in the Victorian era, had their own en suites. I didn't think this was a thing. I didn't think this was a thing until much later for some reason. I don't know why. It's like, well, of course that would make sense. Like most hotels would have had, or most inns, most of the big posh expensive hotels would have had their own en suites. Like surely, duh, can you guys hear me? Most inns. Yeah. Um. So yeah. So I've accounted for that. Each room has got enough space for its own en suite, and is still big enough to be considered a hotel room, if not a fancy pants hotel room. And yeah, I mean, obviously the larger rooms have their own en suite. They are a suite room, so yeah, they're fully customizable by whoever wants them. Um, so yeah, and of course on the most hardest part is basically doing the fourth floor, which was, like I said, it's both easier and annoying at the same time. It's easier in the sense that everybody's a lot smaller, so I don't have to make the hallways so huge. These are the average size of, well, actually these are quite large for hallways in themselves. So I've got hallways, and oh, I just noticed a mistake. They actually aren't labeled as a hallway. I'll do that. Just put the little H there for hallway. Yeah, so the hallways are a lot more like actual hallways, and the rooms are actual sized for actual people. Um, of course, not all of these rooms have their own en suites. They do have communal bathrooms, but there are some that do actually have their own en suites. For example, the head butler's room might have its own en suite, um, and some of the own personal rooms and stuff. But we do have a girls' bathroom and we do have a boys' bathroom. and I also have made changing rooms. So basically, they can get up and then they can, get themselves ready for the day, and then they can go into the changing rooms and change into their uniform. And there's one on both sides of the lobby. So yeah, before they leave into the lobby and go down for their assignments or whatever. But yeah, they've got their own common room. Like I said, they've got their own cafeteria and kitchen and all that stuff. So yeah, so that's the full floor, and it's a lot more like an actual building you would expect. All of the little D's, they're their own private dormitories. So like, or domicile, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, these are just literally bedrooms, and they could have bed. They could have one bed. They could have two beds. They could have some of them can even have up to four beds. There is a like communal dormitory, you know, for like stacked style beds where basically they're set out like a barrack style dormitories. Um, there's a women's one and there's a men's one, and basically when they have a lot of staff, uh, everybody will get assigned their own room, and then basically they can choose to double up with people if they don't stay with their masters, of course. Um, and this isn't just for the butlers; this is for all the staff. And when they're full up, then basically they have to do the barrack style dormitory sleeping arrangements. Um, so yeah, I mean it's all very very cute and sorted. So I've done all of the rooms. I've done all the floors now. I didn't think I was gonna, but yeah. Do you have a preference over which one it is? I should have labeled these with numbers. Um, I mean, again, go check out Discord. This this picture is on Discord for these. But do you have like a preference of which number it is? So if we go from the lobby and then say that's one, and then we go all the way around. I think there are 12 rooms. There are 12 suites. So if we go from the lobby and then go around, like clockwise around, then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So do you have a preference to which one that is? Otherwise, I will just start labeling these like that from number one onwards. I'm really proud of this. I'm actually really proud of this. And that I did it relatively quickly as well. Like one might be called the Walrus Suite. The Walrus Suite I'm okay with, and the Baron Suite I'm okay with that one too. The Baron and the Walrus Suite. Sweet. Yeah, like I said, I cannot progress until all the rooms are named. And I was giving you the. It wasn't that I can't think of names. It was literally like I was giving you the opportunity to come up with names. Anybody that wanted to do it, because basically I've done I like I said I can come up with names. I don't think Saban was basically saying something like, oh well, I'm going to research this for you, and it's like, no, you don't have to, you know. But yeah, that's fine. We can go in order. So the Walrus Suite and then the Baron Suite. Am I spelling that right? SU. Yeah, I am. Like that's how you spell suit, right? Or is it suit? I don't know. Baron. I know how you're going to spell Baron right. There you go. Barrenmore Suite Dunseys. So that means that you've got 10 more to do. Is that 10? I do know that it's like there's like 21 rooms on the third floor, but on the second floor there's like 12. I am going to admit that I kind of cheated when I did these rooms. I kind of copied that onto this, and then I just split lots of the rooms in half. Sweetie. So yeah, I mean it's good anyway, because basically I wanted like the walls to be like, some of them are load bearing and all that stuff. So be helpful. Griffin Suite. I'm okay with that one. Are you locked in? You said maybe. You put a maybe on it. Is that how you spell Griffin? Ugh. That'd be fucking typical. Why can't words just be how they sound, huh? They used to do that. If you look if you look pre-Shakespeare, then essentially Old English used to be exactly how people sounded, apparently, because we don't know how they sounded technically, because we weren't there. But like it's kind of a thing that most historians, it's the common consensus that everybody sounded the way that they wrote, and they wrote the way that they sounded, which does make Old English kind of like incredibly annoying to read, because it's like people understood what they were talking about when they said this stuff, but then again, we would sound incredibly different. We would be incredibly difficult to understand to anybody that was speaking Old English. So yeah, it's strange. Griffin. So yes, you're good with the Griffin Suite. Is that Gryffin? Yes. Sweet. The Shakespeare Suite. I'm actually going to write the. This was before Shakespeare, wasn't it? Oh my god. Ed, how old are you? Did you complete? No, I was going to say, did you complete high school? Did you complete primary school? You don't know when Shakespeare was around? One, two, three, four. I did, but don't really remember much from primary school. Shakespeare was alive during the Tudor period, or the Tudor era. The Edwardian era is basically like two eras behind us. Three now, technically. Wait, we got what? Oh my god, are we in the Charlton era? Because we just had the Elizabethan era, which was, in my opinion, one of the best eras. But what are you gonna do? Then we had, was it the Georgian era? Was it like another Georgian period or Georgian era? Who was before Elizabeth? Was that a George? I think that was a George, but I might be wrong. And then we had another king, and then we had the Edwardian period. I don't remember names, so this was really difficult for me. But if you go back another like 10 eras, then you'll get to the Tudors. Periods or eras, then you get to the Tudors. In which case, you did have another Elizabethan period, but that's, yeah. Oh my God! Actually, yes, it was Elizabethan. It was the Elizabeth. It was the first Elizabethan. That's when Shakespeare was around. What I'm trying to get at is that the early 1900s is when the Edwardian period was, and Shakespeare was alive during like the 1500s. I was gonna be all snooty and do like, oh, he was alive during this century, and I was like, but my brain couldn't do the calculations to what exactly century the 1500s is, because annoyingly, um, it's like one up or one down from that year. 16th century. It was the 16th century, right? Because we're in the 21st century. We're in the 21st century, right? We just had the 20th century in the 1900s, so I don't know. The royal suite. The royal suite. Okay, so it would make sense that there could be a suite named after him then. Well, it could just be just in general. There could just be a Shakespearean suite or whatever, Shakespeare suite. It's not a big deal. I mean, this is way after him, so yeah. It's only about like 400 years. So yeah. 500 years? 400 years. So yeah. The Elizabethan period was when language was beginning to change anyway. So Old English became slightly less Old English, and then like the rules of actual like grammar and stuff became like established. And it's like it's thought that in no small part to like Shakespeare that English became English, like modern day English, from this. Because basically, you start reading stuff from that period, the periods after the Elizabethan era from the Tudors, and it's like things start to sound like you can understand stuff. You can understand Shakespeare. It's mostly not been modernized, and it's mostly understandable. It's very long-winded, but it's basically mostly understandable. At a Chinese restaurant with family, dude, you don't have to be watching me or listening to me if you're at a Chinese restaurant. The Grand Suite. Ew. The Grand. I was expecting more names, but I'm okay with these. So far, we've got the Walrus Suite, the Baron Suite, the Griffin Suite, the Shakespeare Suite, the Royal Suite, and the Grand Suite. The Grand. The Loft's End. No. How many more have we got left? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You would have had 6, but I've already got the Mirrodin Suite. We're looking for like names of hotel rooms, You know how in like fancy pants hotels they have the wedding suite or the honeymoon suite, and then they have other suites like the Winchester suite and stuff like that. Like when I went to the sci-fi convention, they had a bunch of them. They had so many. Um, like they were all named after flowers for some reason. And then the other hotel that we went to, they were all named after famous ports. So yeah. So Roscoe's just giving up. Okay. But yeah. What's a hoity-toity name? The Lotus Suite. Is it just because I mentioned flowers? I'm trying to think of names. I'm going to go with names for people. You know, the Presidential Suite. I like that one. Is that a good one? I'm okay with like the Presidential Suite or like an actual name, like the Roosevelt Suite or like. Is the Presidential Suite okay, or should I go with a name? The King's Suite. The King's Suite is well. That's kind of like I don't think that would be good. I don't think that's appropriate because the King's got his own chambers. The King. We've already got the Royal Suite, so it's kind of a bit too. It's a bit too close. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with Presidential Suite because whatever. presidential. There we go. Yeah, the King's Suite is basically, we've already got the Royal Suite. So it's kind of like, it's already by default the King's Suite. Plus, again, the King's got his own, thing. He's already got his own room. The Lincoln Suite, no, we've got the presidential suite now, so I'm not gonna do names of like presidents. I would have taken them if we've suggested them earlier, but I like there to be one presidential suite. Otherwise, it ends up sounding like the White House. You know, I kind of want them to be slightly more unique than hotels, although there are presidential suites. So yeah, like the ambassador suite or something. But no, I'm trying to think of names. I want to think of famous names. Like who would be a good famous name, or it would be famous for the time. Of like a past club member or current club member. Who are the people that we're doing here? The Giorgio suite. Giorgio is a very modern sounding last name, isn't it? I could call one the Butler suite or like the Sullivan suite, but then that would be a bit too self-aggrandizing. You know, I'd ask you guys for your last names, but then basically, that would be kind of doxing. Will that be a kind of doxing? I don't know. Did I just self-dox? I don't know. I don't think I did. Erwin Nicholas. Nicholas is a good Edwardian name. Actually, I like that. Ooh, the Christmas suite. I like that. It's like where Santa is. Like that's where one of the Santas is. The Kringle suite. The Kringle suite sounds good. Brant is good. Brant is good because there are Brants. Um, oh, is that? I don't know if you can hear it, but the wind just struck my office and shook the roof a little bit. Scared the crap out of me one day. The door just flew open for no reason. I'm not sure if that counts as doxing, but okay. Hey, you can put forward your name. I'm okay with that. Remember, we've only got 4 left. So yeah. I'm gonna go with ooh. No, that's stupid. What's a good name? What's a good Christmassy kind of like name without actually saying Christmas? You know, the Victoria Suite. Hmm? Did you mean Victoria? I thought you were out, Roscoe. Rudolph, really. The Noel Suite is a bit too on the nose as well. I've got Sword on the Stone music start playing in my head now. The Victorian is what I meant. Well, considering that we we uh, well, no, Edward would have been okay with it, I guess. There's a bit of a like a sore spot in history. Like Queen Victoria hated her son Edward because she thought that Edward had played a big part in the death of Albert, of her husband. So basically, she disliked him. She disliked him greatly, but she couldn't just disown him because she knew he would be future king. So basically, it was a thing, you know. She openly hated him, and he was kind of like just amused at it at the very least. He was like, why are you pissed at me now? What did I do? Um, so yeah, he would be okay with a suite named after her. He still loved his mother, so yeah. The North Pole Suite, again, that's a bit too on the nose. I want something that's like Christmassy sounding, but very obviously Christmas. So it's like I was thinking of like Noel Suite. The Noel Suite is actually kind of nice. I'm warming up to it. The Yule Suite, no. Oh, it's driving me crazy. Until then, the Victoria Suite is fine. I'm just going to call it Victoria Suite. There you go. I already said Noel Suite, but it's a bit, yeah. Yule is not Christmas. It's basically a Viking Christmas. Yeah, that's actually where a lot of Christmas traditions come from because it's the Yule tradition, the Yule time tradition, and stuff that was from the Germans that was brought back with the Victoria, with Queen Victoria and her husband, and then later Edward basically set up a bunch of the traditions that modern Christmas became, especially in England. Um, America basically also did a bunch of stuff because there was an American artist that drew a bunch of depictions of Saint Nick of Santa, and basically like he's the one that literally only changed Santa. Everything else is basically either a modern invention or kind of, it's kind of the same. So yeah, yeah, I know what you meant. I know what you meant. It's fine. But yeah, I can't think of another name for fucking Christmas. It's really annoying me. I could just call it the festive suite. I could. The festive suite sounds nice. The saint suite is a bit too kind of like religiousy. It's a little bit too religiousy. Oh my god, it's driving me nuts. It's just driving me nuts. That does sound nice. The holiday suite. The holiday suite? Did I say the holiday suite? What was the last thing I said? That's driving me nuts now. What was the last? I can't remember the last thing I said. Ugh. The festive suite. The workshop suite. It's a bit too descriptive of like another room. But there are workshops in the building, so it might be a bit confusing. Maybe. I'm gonna go with Nicholas. I'm gonna go with the Nicholas suite, or just the Nicholas suite. I just felt Nicholas. Was it in one of the words, one of the names that you said earlier? Yeah, it was. And I see. So yeah, got two left. Because it's like in the poem that basically sets up, it names all the reindeer and it also sets up the archetype for, you know, the night before Christmas, not the night before Christmas. It was the night before Christmas. One of the Duke's names. Yes, that's what I was suggesting. And that's why it would have been helpful if Roscoe was here, but you know. What's a good Edwardian? What's a good Dickensian name? The Dickensian suite is a cool one. The Comet suite, dude. What is there? Somebody called Comet? Really? I'm gonna veto this one for now. It just doesn't sound right. Come on, we've got 2 more, and then I can go to bed. The name of Santa's. Oh no, I'll just call it the Nicholas Suite, because again, in the night before Christmas, they do name him as Saint Nick, so it could be the Nicholas Suite, which kind of implies that we actually have Santa. You know, he either was a member at some stage or is a member. That would be funny. Well, there are plenty Santa lookalikes. So yeah. I mean, it's the Woolworths Club. There are going to be lots of Santa lookalikes. Oh, it's one of my favorite aspects of the club. I'm very pleased that I've got all of the floors done. I'm so pleased that all of the floors have like a map now as well. George Suite, the George Suite, George Suite. I don't know. It's a bit of a first name. I know we've got some first names, but it would be the Georgian Suite, surely. Would you be okay with it being called the Georgian Suite? I got I-18 stuck in my head, which is really annoying. It's a Christmas like hymn. It's not really hymn. It's like it's a Latin song. It's really annoying. Georgian Suite is fine. I'll do that one then. One more, the last one. Georgian. Huh? Is A spelled Georgian? I've written it like George Ian. So yeah. Got one more. And then I can scan it in. I'm gonna have to like put these all together side by side on the computer, and it will look really cute. Yeah, I got that. I wrote that down. That's the one I've written down. So we got one more. I've got lots of candidates, but I don't really want to. I don't know which one to choose for the last one. So I'll let you come up with some. Get up it. Enough. I nearly wrote it down because I wasn't sure. I was like, is that right? You know, like I've got a bunch like like the ones that I said before. A new one just popped up in my head. It was like the Canterbury Suite. But how do I say Canterbury Suite? The Equestrian Suite. Oh, that's another one I've seen somewhere. The Equestrian. Oh my God! What's a good name? What's like the Latin name for like pig? The porcine sweet. The porcine sweet. You know, basically it's just porky sweet in Latin. The porcine. The porcine. Oh dear. You know, it could be dog breeds even. Hmm. Porcine. Yeah, the porcine sweet. I like that one. I do like that. That's a good one. The piggy sweet. The Ursa sweet is kind of like is a bit meh. The Ursa sweet. That's I don't know. That sounds. It doesn't sound right. It doesn't roll off your tongue. You know. Doesn't. It's not like the presidential or the grand suite. Oh, that's just so posh. You know, you totally see that at a hotel. Like, oh, the grand, of course, the grand. The Ursula suite. Really? It's not like the Romanization of Persephone. I think Ursula is the Romanization of Persephone. You know, when they translated all of the Greek myths into the Roman, when the Romans co-opted the Greek mythology, they basically renamed a bunch of people. Well, everybody. They renamed everybody from Greek mythology. For somehow, Persephone became Ursula. You know, you had a perfect name of Persephone, and you made it Ursula. But then again, you had Zeus, and they called him Jupiter. So what are you going to do? The Roman suite. Okay with that one. Oh, you're having that over the Porcian. I kind of like the Porcian better, to be honest. What do you think? Do you know who Persephone is? It's Hades' wife. I don't know why I left. I was like, I was going to see if you basically knew. Damn it. My brain was like, immediately. I'll just say it immediately. People hate it when you do that. When you ask a rhetorical question that sounds rhetorical, even though you're actually asking. You know. It does. It does sound better than I'm sorry. It does sound better than. Yeah, I'm gonna write it down. Okay, we got them all written down. We've already trying to rip the door off. Uncool. Okay, now I'm going to scan all these in. I was going to work on the room. I've got the I've got the box room. I've got the box down. I just need to fill it out with, like, the bed and the bath. Give me a big bath there. It's gonna have like lots of windows. It's very open plan, but it's gonna be gorgeous. So yeah. But yeah, I gotta scan these in. And then I'm going to go. Yeah, we did it. Woo. Uh well, they're gonna look good on my computer anyway. And because it's in pen, I don't have to worry so much about reflections and stuff. Should I scan it in as like individual pictures, or should I scan it in? I wish there was a track and I could just stop it from like attacking my office. That'd be so cool. Ugh. Paper is not flat enough. It's like, oh shit, I closed the book. Is that better? No, that bit's sticking up in the corner. Okay. Good scans. Good scans. At least what I can see on the preview. That's the pool. Oi. Give. Son of a bitch. I just want the paper to turn over once. There we go. Oh, I can't do that with one hand anyway. Yep, Sword in the Stone music playing in my brain. It's just so 60s, you know? It's so very bewitched, you know? What do you mean too many shadows? Fuck off. Okay, I think that's scanned. I did take a picture of it just in case. But yeah, the book is closed. Sweet. You think they look good? You know, from what you can see before I upload them. Oh, good. A piece of debris fell on the roof. Bewitched Sweet doesn't sound right. That's very true. Yes. Do, 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 do. Looks all good. Sweet. Oh, it didn't scan after all. On the third floor, it didn't scan. It just took a picture. So I'm just fucking with the settings to make it look pretty. No, it doesn't really look good anyway. Ugh. It's the best I could do for that one. Shame. And that still has a shadow visible, which I'm going to get rid of. Using my magic. It's the best I could do. But it looks good. Yep. The Wars Club Furryverse is coming together just great. Furryverse? No, this is in the real world. This is in the human world. Unless you're talking about something that you're doing. The Furverse version of this building looks a little bit different, mainly because all of the walls and all of the doors are supersized and stuff. Because there are many different shapes and sizes of furries. For example, if you want mythological furries, even like dragons and stuff, then those things can be like 10 feet tall. And then there's all the elephants and actual walruses. So yeah, you have to rescale buildings and stuff when it comes to things like that. It's something that I struggle with all the time with the with the Futterhund, which is an actual pub in the Furryverse, a bar lounge place in the Furryverse. Yep, yawning. Thank you. God. Which is an actual pub in the Furryverse. I had to basically figure out exactly what size and shape the door will be, and like all the different. There's 3 different hot tubs, and they look kind of. They're slightly. There's one regular sized / big hot tub. There's a slightly bigger hot tub, and then there's a big hot tub. So yeah, it's like there's a whole big thing. Huh, it's a whole big thing. Uploading to Discord. Okay, they're not in order, but whatever. Computer, you know what to do. You talk about the things that you're doing. Okay. Can I stop yawning, please? I don't know. But you mentioned it now. Fuck. Basically, like biting, like doing that with a finger and then lightly biting it, is supposed to stop the yawning process somehow. But like your body gets used to it. So I like, for example, it doesn't stop me doing it anymore. Oh, they're all uploaded. That's good. So you got a full layout. Yeah, you'll notice that some of the bigger rooms are on the second floor, as opposed to being on higher up and everything. And that was basically because they didn't always have elevators in the building, and this used to be a common thing. Like all of the fancier rooms and shit were on the lower floors, and all of the like less fancy rooms were upstairs. Um, and that's mainly because the fancy rooms tend to have all of the large furniture, the large heavy furniture, and they didn't always have elevators and lifts and stuff in the past. So essentially, they couldn't get things up to the higher rooms and stuff. Um, so you'd end up having like the upstairs downstairs situation, and in fact that's why they call it the upstairs downstairs situation, where the servants and the butlers and the maids and all those people, basically they all lived upstairs. They had all of their own quarters and stuff up there, and then basically everybody else, all the rest of the main family. This is in houses, but it works for almost every building in the past before elevators. Um, all the main family, the owners of the house and all that stuff, they lived downstairs, not like on the ground floor. Everybody wasn't on the ground floor, but they basically lived down, just slightly lower, where the big fancy rooms. This is in fact the main reason for the whole. This is why we have this layout usually. Um, Generally, humankind. This is why we have this layout. But yeah, um, scary. But yeah, like the living space and all of the things with the large furniture like sofas and in the old times pianos and like and kitchenware and stuff like that. All of the kitchen furniture and stuff is all downstairs, and then you have like the the more upscale bedrooms, like they're one floor up. But then again, in the olden times, um, all of the all of the crappy furniture, all of the lighter furniture and stuff, all of the smaller furniture would be, the beds and everything would be on the upper floors, and that's where you had like the upstairs where the servants were the helpers, so yeah, that's the way that works. But it was like that for hotels. And if you look at the floor plans, you'll notice that the larger rooms are on the second floor. Then you've got like the slightly smaller rooms on the third floor, even though they've got elevators now. Um, and then you've got the staff, the crew quarters on the upper floors. So yeah, the names came out great. Yeah, forgive my handwriting, but it's so that I understand it, and you can ask if you basically have questions. So that's something. But yeah, it's all good. I'm happy with the way that came out. Now we've got like all of the floors, so that's cool. I will say that one thing I did find it incredibly difficult to basically maintain a consistent footprint for the building. Like I don't know why I've made it so higgledy piggledy, as opposed to just a square that I could have just drawn 5 times. But it just, I guess it wouldn't have matched the outside and it would have driven me crazy. But having to draw that 5 times is where most of the work went. And I didn't always succeed in keeping it a uniform shape. And it's really annoying because I'm like, oh, this is really, it doesn't match the floor plans that I've done for this or whatever. But hopefully nobody will notice, and hopefully to be fair, it's not that noticeable. and I did do a fairly good job, so I shouldn't really be beating myself up too much. But yeah, it's just annoying to me because I can see it because I have eyeballs. So yeah, but no, I'm sure it's fine. So I'm just trying to will the wind to calm down around my office. It is kind of working. Did I tell you guys that I was hit by a mini tornado? That was kind of cool, but scary at the same time. Anyway, as long as it's not big on the inside, then the outside. Nope, I did get everything to scale. Yeah, I got everything to scale. I think on one of the drawings you can actually see like I've done a very tall person, and I've done a regular sized human just outside of the lobby area, and basically that I was using that for scale all the time. But essentially it's the same. Like I know how big the lobby is, so I was able to manage to get the corridors to be uniform sized, except for the upper floor because that was regular human sized corridors instead of being, so that two rhinos can walk past each other, like in the downstairs. Um, so yeah, seriously, those hallways are huge. You know, they're like, well, they're two people doing this. Like all the way out because I can't because there's a picture there. The two people like with the outstretched arms they can just touch the walls if they outstretch and linked arms. It's basically that's how big the regular hallways are. Like that's how wide they are. But basically, you've got enough space for somebody to just miss the wall for just one person to do that on the regular hallways. So yeah. Anyway, looks just fine, huh? Just fine. Not awesome. Not awesome and amazing. I see how it is. um, but yeah, I'm kind of proud of this. I'm kind of proud of the way this turns out. I've never done like a full like all of a building before. Like I have done floor plans for other stuff. Um, like I did a deck of a spaceship or two in my time. Um, and I've done bridge layouts. I've even done a hangabout layout, a hangar bay layout. But yeah, I've not done an entire period building before. So this has been fun. I kind of want to do it again, because I really like doing this. I really wish this was my job, but what are you gonna do? I mean, it is kind of, but we. Anyway, I will be back tomorrow. I have no idea what I'll be doing tomorrow. Like no clue at all. Um, like I'm gonna be doing after I finish this room, basically, you and Roscoe will have the opportunity to ask me to draw highlights. So basically, anything that you have like you want to see a detail of in these layouts or in the part of the masonry work or like a painting or something, or even just something. I don't know. As that's linked to any of these things that I've done recently. then you'll have the opportunity. Because I don't mind doing like individual like close-ups of things. But that's it. That will be it for the Wars Club. I won't know. I don't know what else I would draw for the Wars Club stuff. I think I've done a cover sheet, done all of the floor layouts. So yeah, I've done. I don't know what else I could do. I don't know what else I could contribute. But yeah, but yeah, I'll need to know what else I'm doing by tomorrow or something, because then that'll be it. I'll have no more work. That'd be crazy. Anyway, we'll figure it out tomorrow. Back stretch, belly rubs, and belly salute, and stop trying to blow down my office. Stop it. I said stop. Or accelerate. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Toodles.